40 minutes ago, Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, one of the fiercest advocates for Epstein survivors, did something extraordinary during Attorney General Pam Bondi's testimony. She caught her live on camera, refusing to apologize to survivors sitting right behind her for the DOJ's mishandling of the Epstein files Congress ordered released. Not protecting victims, but exposing them. Names, addresses, nude photos leaked, while powerful men's names stayed hidden. The DOJ released an email where Epstein wrote, "I loved the torture video," to a redacted name, later revealed as Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, a billionaire with ties to Trump businesses, and Steve Bannon. When Jayapal showed her the evidence in front of every camera and asked her to turn and apologize, Bondi didn't. She attacked her, called it theatrics, accused her of grandstanding. If you think you know where this goes, you don't. What happened in the next 7 minutes will change how you see this investigation. Subscribe right now and hit the bell. What I am walking you through is not just one refusal to apologize. It is a pattern, a system, and a lawmaker who refused to stay quiet when the Attorney General ignored survivors in the room. I've watched congressional hearings for years. I've seen witnesses dodge questions. I've seen politicians protect their own. But I have never seen a Democratic Congresswoman look at a Republican Attorney General and demand she turn and apologize to survivors' faces. And mean it. That happened on the 11th of February 2026, House Judiciary Committee Oversight hearing. The room was packed. Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse sitting in the gallery wearing white, watching cameras at every angle. And Pramila Jayapal, fierce advocate from Washington State, waiting for her turn to ask questions. She wasn't there to grandstand. She was there because she had evidence of the DOJ's failures in releasing the Epstein files. The files Congress ordered released. The files Bondi's department released with thousands of redactions that didn't make sense. Survivors' names were exposed, victims' information published, nude photos leaked, but powerful men's names redacted. Jayapal had called it out publicly, accused the DOJ of a cover-up. And on the 11th of February 2026, Jayapal sat across from Bondi with evidence she couldn't ignore. I'll bet you think you know how this ends. Most assume the AG deflects and nothing changes. Keep that prediction because what Jayapal did and what Bondi refused will prove you wrong. Picture this. Mid-morning Rayburn House office building. The hearing's been running over an hour. Democrats hammered Bondi on redactions. Pramila Jayapal opened, pointing to survivors in the room, accusing Bondi of running a massive mishandling. She asked Bondi to turn and apologize to survivors behind her. Bondi refused, called it theatrics, pivoted to attacking previous administrations. The pattern was clear. Democrats demand accountability. Bondi deflects, standard partisan theater. Then Pramila Jayapal's turn came. She didn't open with wild accusations. She opened with specific evidence-based points about documents, emails, victim lists. The temperature changed immediately. When Jayapal asks a narrow question, it's because she already has the answer, and she's about to make you face it. Attorney General Bondi, Jayapal began, her voice calm, almost measured. The tone of a woman who doesn't need to shout because the facts are about to do all the work. I want to show you something from the released Epstein files this week. She held up documents, highlighted, the kind of prop that tells you this moment was planned. This is an Epstein email. It reads, "Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video." And the recipient's name was redacted. Only after Congress demanded unredacted files did we learn it was Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, with ties to powerful figures. But your department released survivors' names, addresses, nude photos, while redacting powerful predators. Here is another email titled Epstein Victim List. 32 survivors, mostly unredacted, families finding out for the first time. Survivors say this doesn't provide closure. It feels like intimidation. To the survivors in the room, if you're willing, please stand. And if you're willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Pause for impact. Every single survivor raised their hand. Attorney General Bondi, you apologized in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with this unacceptable release? The room went quiet. Not the polite quiet, the tense quiet of people realizing something is about to break open. Bondi shifted in her seat. You could see it, the glance toward her staff, the discomfort. She knew what was coming. Bondi tried the standard move, deflect a process. Congresswoman, as I've stated, the department worked around the clock. We balanced transparency with protection. Jayapal didn't accept it. That is not what I asked. I asked you to turn and apologize to the survivors standing right behind you. Bondi tried again, pivoting to Merrick Garland. You sat before Merrick Garland twice. Jayapal interrupted, reclaiming her time. No, I'm going to reclaim my time. This is about you taking responsibility for your department and the harm done to survivors waiting for you to apologize. Bondi, members get to ask questions. The witness gets to answer. Jayapal, that's not accurate, Mr. Chairman. Then Bondi hit back. I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics. The room erupted, not shouting, but the rustle of reporters typing, cameras zooming. This wasn't partisan theater anymore. This was real. Jayapal pressed. What a massive cover-up this has been. Donald Trump made the release central to his campaign. Then you claimed a client list and said there was none. Your deputy met Ghislaine Maxwell alone. And now you refuse to turn to survivors on a human level. Bondi's jaw tightened. She called it theatrics again. The attack that tells you someone has run out of answers. Jayapal, I am not engaging in theatrics. I am demanding accountability for survivors. And you just spent minutes deflecting instead of apologizing. The American people, and the survivors, can draw their own conclusions. Here's what you need to understand. This is not random. Powerful names like Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem hidden, survivors degraded. When confronted, Bondi refused apology, proving it was never about balance. It was avoidance. That is not an oversight. That is a failure. Jayapal forced her to show it without backing down, because sometimes the refusal to apologize is the answer. The hearing continued. More dodges, ignored survivors. Bondi attacked back, but the moment that mattered was Jayapal's 7 minutes. Because Jayapal is a Democrat holding a Republican AG accountable, the evidence undeniable, impossible to dismiss as partisan. Within an hour, the clip was everywhere. Survivors' hands raised, Bondi refusing. Share this video right now. What Jayapal did, forcing humanity from power, is what accountability looks like. Now, let me tell you what happens next, because this story is not over. Lawmakers threatening further oversight, contempt if needed. DOJ released only part of the files, key details missing. If they exposed survivors while hiding predators, what else? Survivors demanding answers. Bondi's response, calling it theatrics, made it worse. You can't refuse to apologize to survivors and expect the story to vanish. Subscribe to this channel right now and hit that bell icon. I will cover every development. Next hearings, missing files, when Jayapal gets another chance. This is not the end. This is just the beginning of something much bigger. Survivors raised their hands. Bondi turned her back, literally and figuratively. 7 minutes to expose the refusal, to prove the mishandling was a choice. And when survivors show no support from DOJ, theatrics isn't hyperbole. It's deflection. Pramila Jayapal walked in with evidence, asked direct questions, pressed until Bondi had nothing left but personal attacks. That is accountability. The clip is spreading. Survivors are watching. Somewhere in Washington, Pam Bondi is explaining why she couldn't face them. Subscribe, hit the bell, share this video, and check the related clips on your screen right now.